Hello, welcome to my channel Conscious Growing. I'm Matthias. So today's video will be about resistance, and this will be probably a short video, even though it's a big topic for everyone who suffers from chronic illness, chronic sensations, however you want to call it. And I just want to share a recent example with you. And this one is about that I mentioned earlier on that I'm kind of, I don't want to call it stucking, but I'm in a reinfection of corona, and it's the 4th week now already, and I still have symptoms. And the funny thing is, and I mentioned it in some earlier videos, that I'm not scared. I'm not really scared about that something terrible is going on, and I'm not in fear that there's a life-threatening thing going on. Not at all. But nevertheless, my nervous system seems to be, or seems to have a different opinion, and everything seems to be dangerous right now. So, just to give you a little insight, when I start my days, for example, I have this, like we all have, we have this kind of inner measurements. So what's possible for the coming day? How do I feel? How much energy do I have? And in the very first weeks, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it was much easier for me to accept the circumstances, because it was clear to me I have a virus, I have less energy, it's the same for everyone on this planet. So I just pulled back a little bit and heal myself, and then I will have more energy again. And in this case, it didn't really work that way. So what I experience is, when I do my daily stuff here, for instance, taking the showers in the morning, being in the bath, cooking, making breakfast, there are always some activities to do. And I feel that I come easily to my limits. And what are the signs? The signs are that I get hyper nervous, that I can't concentrate so well, even on simple things, answering some emails. Everything seems a little bit gloomy, and I wasn't able, or I don't have so much capacities. And there's one part in me who can hardly accept this. And we can call it the achiever for now. And that's this one who always wants to succeed, and we made so much progress already. How can it be that we are hanging in there? And even the daily walks seem to be too much. And yeah, so in all of this, I find myself kind of struggling. And because there's this one side that deeply believes, okay, I want to teach my brain that I'm okay and that I can do these things. And I'm aware that this hypersensitive nervous system right now is kind of trying to um, protect me more than before. And especially when symptoms of the current infection coming up, then this hyper alertness is even more present. And so I'm in this kind of struggle between seeing that I have less possibilities, less capacities, but on the other hand, I don't want to get ruled by my symptoms and this anxious voice inside of me. And on a daily basis, this means that I'm kind of struggling between this attempt of doing stuff that have to be done, but also accepting that I don't have so much energy right now and that I also need to rest. And at this point, I want to share what was helping me or is helping me when I'm really be honest and authentic with myself. And it's quite simple. The answer is I have to listen. Because, and this is also meant for you guys out there, because we have managed to be in uncomfortable states in the past. So we already know ourselves well in these kind of conditions. And so it's important to kind of take it serious what we feel and what we see. And I don't mean to be ruled by this anxious voice, not at all. But sometimes it's also important to pull back a little bit. And coming back to the example, in this case, it means I do some stuff that I can do. And when I realize that I come to this border of capacities, when I start to feel exhausted or some brain fog gets stronger again, or I get adrenaline rushes, anxiety, I allow myself to pull back. I allow myself to rest. I allow myself to be with everything that's there in the moment. And this can be quite a lot. This can be emotions. This can be physical states, unpleasant physical states. And of course, lots of crappy thoughts as well. So what I do then is, when I realize that it's kind of too much, pulling back means sitting on the couch or on the bed. Just stop everything for a moment and just be there with what's there right now. And I think one of the keys here is to have a kind of plan. And with plan mean where is the attention? And so I always try to figure out first and see first what is in the foreground. Is it an emotion? For example, I'm angry about it. Then if this is in the foreground, I just allow the anger to be there, really to be there, just to be as neutral as possible and just like a curious observer. And if you're familiar with these spiritual practices, you can even imagine that you are space, you are a blue sky, open blue sky, and this presence of the space, of the blue sky, is more present than the sensation or the emotion. So if we come back to this example of anger, you are the space, untouched, and in this space there are sensations, for example, anger. So the anger can be there, but there is this detachment of yourself believing I'm the angry one, I'm always angry, this is what I am, who I am. But with this kind of, or with this point of view, you detach from the very symptom or the very sensation itself. And what usually happens is that the system calms down. And again, this needs practice. And it's really to see when you have these days where you have these roller coaster emotions and sensations, and if you don't want to go down that road, it's really like you take yourself out of the scenery and just practice presence and awareness and space, of course. And you allow the sensation to be there, however unpleasant it might be. But my experience is when I'm not pushing through, when I really take this serious, that there's some energy that really is asking for attention, not to push through. And of course, it's still a kind of thing you have to manage through the day. I have to manage through the day, because it's not possible to sit with it, or not needed to sit with it the whole day. Just from my experience, just when it kind of grabs you, and then you really need to stop the action you're in right now, and just give it a while, as long as it needs, and until the system calms down again. And this is really self-empowerment, because when you're able to separate your thoughts, emotions, or sensations, it's like separating yourself from this big bubble of unpleasant disaster. Because usually it's all mixed up. When we come in this kind of fight or flight mode, the thoughts are fast, the sensations are going crazy, and it's all mixed up somehow. And it's really important to, from my point of view, really to see what's in the foreground. You pick the first thing out. And what I experience very often is that then there is a, for example, I grab the physical sensation first. And I just allow the physical sensation to be there. I don't fight it. In best case, I'm even curious, which is a somatic tracking aspect, definitely. And then sometimes or in most cases, the underlying emotion comes up. For example, sadness or anger. These are the common ones in my case. And then the next step is, if this comes to the surface, also to allow it. And when this happens, it's much, much easier just to be with a pure emotion. Because I took a step back from being too much engaged. I took a step back, and it was easier to see that there is a current strong emotion, for example. And when this emotion comes up, for example, sadness, then this sadness has space in the space, and the emotion is just there. And then it's on us not to add too much story. You know, you can say, okay, my God, I'm still in this situation. It's okay to complain about it. It's okay to feel sad or angry. We are humans, it's normal. And I find it really important to express it. It's important to express the emotion when it comes. But I highly recommend not to add too much story. Yeah, because if we imagine I'm coming to this point of sadness and I come to the conclusion that this is really painful right now, but when I'm just with this all day long and being in this environment of sadness and finding reasons all day long why I'm so sad and why my circumstances are so challenging and so on, then of course it goes the wrong way. But what I'm talking about here is just kind of filter out just the pure emotion that's present, and to allow it as long as it needs. If you practice this for a while, the sequences become shorter. And sometimes it's just done in a few moments, few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You just allow it. You just cry it out for the moment. And then you can orientate to something else, something you want to do, something that's on your list, or in best case, something you really want to do, you're burning for, you have some passion for. This is the best example. So Yes, in summary, the resistance, the very resistance itself, can have space um, in the space, the space we create. And don't fight the resistance. And in the beginning, it seems impossible. But again, with some more practice, it's getting softer and easier. And this is actually a form of acceptance, of course, a form of being with the sensations, a form of allowing. And this is a message to the nervous system. And just see that this might cause even more frictions in the beginning, because you have a new attempt to meet your uncomfortable feelings. But I think to continue on a daily basis, a few moments each day, will be very helpful and will bring back some empowerment. And then when you feel you have more energy again, do what you like to do. This is so important too. Listen to the body, listen to the signals, don't be rude, but also don't push them away. This is the rule somehow, and everyone has to figure it out on his own. It's a very personal thing, of course. So I hope this makes some sense for you, and I hope you are all doing well, and wish you a strong day and a day full of confidence. Bye for now.